Morning, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Renovating My 100-Year-Old Home. Today's task. I don't know. But today I'm gonna I think I'm gonna leave this framing for now because we have to, I think, flip this electrical panel over. So I think I'm gonna frame. I'm gonna put some rigid foam down here and probably frame up this whole side, or maybe start with the bathroom here. I'll see. Or I can even start working on framing back here. Start framing this, which will probably take like 2 seconds to do. So I could do that. I could also finish framing this up and finish adding some rigid foam back here. Can't really see anything. But yeah, today's priority, today's task mostly is framing and maybe some more rigid foam, but framing for now. And some rigid foam maybe. But mostly framing. But also maybe some rigid foam. So while I wait for my batteries to charge, I think what I'm gonna do is add my sill gasket on all these PT plates, just to pass the time, and then I could start drilling into the concrete with those. Okay, so I got 8 of them done. I'm gonna leave these 5 for now, just because I do think this is enough. Maybe we'll see, but I'll leave those ones for now, and I'll start working downstairs on the framing. I'm trying this new POV. I have this tripod stashed down my shirt to try and get this, but I'm gonna take these down stairs, and I'm also gonna take some of these down just so I don't have to keep coming back and forth upstairs. I think I'm gonna put them here. I think I'm only gonna take 2 for now, just because I don't know what I'm actually working on right now. So I'm gonna start bringing some studs down, unless I already have some over here. I don't have anything here. Okay. I'm gonna bring some studs downstairs. So I think what I'm gonna do first is the wall back here, because it's the easiest one. I have to tape the seams first though. There and there. I have to tape those seams. So I'm gonna work on that first, and then I'm probably just gonna make my way down. So go from there, then do this wall here going into the washroom, and then we'll see from there where I get to. And if you guys see in a time lapse a little screen somewhere like right in front of my face, and all you see is green, it's because Italy's playing today to qualify for the World Cup, and I gotta watch this game because if Italy doesn't qualify again, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I honestly don't know what I'm gonna do. So what I like to do first on all the plates that I put down is I do my layout where my studs are gonna go, just so when I drill with my concrete drill, my hammer drill, I don't drill underneath a stud, because then there's gonna be a tapcon under there and it's gonna push up the stud. Like there's gonna be a little stick out where the tapcon is. So I lay out my 16s where my studs go, and I don't drill where the studs go. Okay, so I got my plate down. Just put 3 tapcons in there. Now what I have to do is put my top plate. And the way I do that is I just take a laser level and I put it on my bottom plate, project it up, mark my lines, and then put my piece up. Here, I might have to put a block because there isn't really anything to nail the 2x4 to. So I think I'm gonna have to put a block here. And then over here, where it's blank, I might just put a block from that joist to this joist, like in between them. Or I might just leave it as it is and have my stud kind of push it up. So for these 2 end studs here, they're gonna make contact with concrete. And even though it is an interior wall of concrete, the moisture will still pass through from this exterior wall into this. So what I'm gonna do, I'm not gonna use a PT or pressure treated. I'm just gonna put some sill gasket on the end of it and use my hammer drill and just tack it in. I might not even use my hammer drill, I might just nail it and that's it. But yeah, I'm gonna put some sill gasket on either side, just so it doesn't absorb the moisture. Okay, so this wall's done. Framed it up. Pretty simple. Now I'm gonna work on, I don't know what I'm gonna work on. Probably this wall here, starting in the bathroom. Let's get to it. Okay, so I found a thing that I have to work around now. And it's that this wall, foundation wall, isn't plumb. So I think it sticks in too much at the top. And I put my bottom plates flush with the rigid foam. So when I put my top plate on, it sticks out too far. So it's gonna make my studs out of plumb. So my wall's all gonna be crooked. So I was thinking I didn't really wanna bring these plates out because then it'd make this hallway into the washroom smaller. But I think it's gonna save a lot of time if I just bring in the plate an inch. And then this hallway is going to be an inch smaller. But it's going to save a lot of time. I don't have to rip down every stud on an angle. I don't even have a table saw, so I have to do it all with my circ saw. So I think the plan is take these plates out, bring them forward an inch, and work from there. Okay, so I forgot to record. But I got all that done. All in the washroom. I went around this tube, 45 to go around this. This is to tie this wall, just to hold it from moving. Now it's as sturdy as a rock. And I don't know if you could see that. Yeah, you can. Finished in here. And now I'm gonna move on to doing all this. Let's get to it. Okay, so today is done. I got a decent amount finished today. I would have liked to gotten more done, but there's just things I kept getting in the way, things I had to solve. But today I got this wall done here at the back, and then I came here and I did this around the window before going in the washroom. I had to do this around my drain because there needs to be an access down here in case there's a clog. Went around the 45, braced it, and then framed in here too. And then over here, I didn't get too much done over here, but I took out the old plates that I had because we added the rigid foam, so it bumped it out a bit, so I had to redo it all. That's okay, now it's done properly. I have the pressure trigger plate down, framing, I have my California corner, which again is when you invert the last stud so you have something to nail to, like I did here. So I can nail this wall to this. And yeah, that's it for today. So it's a cold morning here on the job. I don't know why it's so cold. It's like the start of September. But anyways, today's task is finish the framing in the basement, get it all done, hopefully, because I want to get my water lines in. I want to start my electrical. So today's task, finish the framing and progress with more work, hopefully. So on the weekend, what we got done down here is I finished framing this corner out, put my bottom plate, my top plate. I basically put all my plates down around the corner here, got my stud around this drain. Then I framed all this out. We'll put some more rigid insulation over here. We have to wait to put stuff here because we have to do stuff with this panel. We have to move it around. So I did this around the window, went around the water meter. Over here, so there used to be like a wood, not even a wood oven stove, it's that thing that we still haven't moved out of here because it weighs a lot. So there used to be the exhaust for that here that used to come out and then into that. So we took that out and then there was a big hole here. So my dad went outside, he filled that all up with concrete, put some rebar in there. So now it's all good to go. And then he's gonna fill this side up with bricks. Under this windowsill, all the wood underneath was rotted. So we took all that out, he put bricks in. So now that's also good to go. I'll show you outside what he did. So what he did here is he sealed this off with concrete and then he put a layer of liquid asphalt on top just to keep it nice and waterproofed. So hopefully we get no leaks, but it was connected to this and this goes all the way up. and exhausts. Then we also have to fill this in with bricks. This was a window that we have to close off now. Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys how I go about doing something like this, or like how I did under the stairs, where I did an angled cut. So in this case, I have to go around this pipe. I can't run a stud straight up, I can't notch it. So what I did is I started by putting one stud to the height I wanted to. I also have to take into account that there's gonna be the 1.5 inch on top of here, so I left a gap for my pipe. You leave a gap for whatever you're cutting. So I did that, and then I took my square and made sure that my stud is nice and plumb. So once I have that, I nailed it down. Now I can take my measurement. So I'm gonna go just approximately a line parallel with this pipe, right? So something like that maybe. And the measurement I get is based off of that. So I have 39 inches, but it's gonna be 39 inches. When you hear on the job site, long to long, it means the long point of what you're cutting. So since this is an angled cut, it's going 45 degrees, 45 degrees. The long point, when you cut a 45, it's gonna be to the long point. So if I have my piece of wood that I'm gonna cut that looks like this, right? So this is gonna be angled. This part's gonna go against there, this part's gonna go on top of this, right? My long point measurement is from here to here. So in this case, for me, it's 39. So when I yell out to my cut guy or whatever, I'm saying 39 long to long, it means from the long point to long point, not to this short point. These are the short points. So when you call on the job site short point, it's from the bottom of the angle. Long point is to the top of the angle. I hope that helps. But I'm gonna do that now and then cut my stud. Okay, so now when I go and put my piece in, ta-da! It sits nice. That's it. Pretty simple. And I'm just gonna cut, when I cut my stud there, I'm gonna cut it to 45-degree angle. And yeah, that's it. Okay, so I put up my stud, I cut it to length. Then I just go with my small torpedo, check if it's plumb, and just shoot the bottom. So what I want to do right here is add a piece of blocking from this stud to this stud, just to make sure it's nice and aligned, and so that this wall doesn't move around because it's now tied into this one. But this pipe is in the way, so I have to notch the back of the 2x4 just a little bit. So I'm going to show you how I do that easily. So what I did here was I laid out where the pipe is going to go. Then what I'm going to do is take my saw, and I'm just going to set it to the depth that I need, which is about there. So I set it to that. Then what I do is I just do a bunch of slices in that cavity that I need to cut. Like this. what I do is I take my chisel and I put it in the gap like this. Just hammer it in a bit. And then I tilt it left to right. And these pieces now I have my notch. Now I kind of want to clean it up a bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my chisel and lay it kind of flat and hold the rest of the 2x4 with my forearm and just kind of, actually maybe I'll just do it down. So smart. And just chisel away. In my case, it doesn't need to be perfect. It's just going there as blocking. So now I have my notch done. Looks pretty rough, but doesn't matter. Now I'm gonna go install it. So it's gonna go right here. Perfect. So now I could screw it in from here and then align this wall, and where it's nice and aligned with this wall, screw it in as well. Okay, so here I've tried bracing like that. I tried bracing, adding blocking, something behind just to push this wall in because it's sticking out a bit. And it's kind of normal because this wall is it's freestanding. So is this one. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to notch out a section here and a section here, and then I'm gonna run a board from there through that notch, through this notch, and go against this and screw it in from there. And hopefully that gives me a nice straight wall. Okay, so I got my notches done. The way I did it was the same as I did this notch to go around here. I just did a bunch of little swipes on it, pried it off with my chisel. So now I'm gonna take my piece and like that, and I'm gonna screw it in from here, screw it in from there, and front screw it to there. Hopefully this fixes the problem. Okay, so none of that really worked. It still sticks out a little. I added bracing here, I added bracing there, everywhere. None of that worked. So what I'm gonna do, like this is making it pretty sturdy, but it's bumping out a little bit. So then when I go and put my drywall on, it's gonna stick out. So what I'm gonna do is I found this beauty sitting around, and what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take it and run it along the face of it. By the way, this is a planer. It's called a planer. It's like to shave down wood. See, and then it leaves the shavings inside. So I'm just gonna do that to the front. Hopefully I don't hit any screws or anything, but I'm just gonna do that to where it fades out and it's nice and plumb. I hope that works because I really want to move on to do other work. So what I'm doing to check, so I just plane it down. What I'm doing to check if it's still bumping out or not, is I go to one end of the wall. I just put in nailers. And then you take a string. I just use my chalk line because it works good as well. I hook it on that. I angle my nail a bit down. So this chalk line stays against the stud. And then I go to the other side and I put it on and I see, so these are all really good actually. So I see where they line up, and if it touches any studs, like I see it bumping out, that's where I know there's a hot spot. So I'm gonna go here to where I just planed it down. And it's still sticking out, and I know that because there's a gap here. And there it's touching and then there's a gap. So I have to take it down about another 1/4 inch. I'm gonna take my planer and I'm gonna keep going at it. Okay, so let's check again. Take my chalk line, or your string, pull it across. So it's still sticking out a little bit, but it's a lot better actually. So I'm gonna keep just hacking at it. Now they do have electric planers now, but I don't have one. But this is the OG, this works. Now it's only shaving off like not even a millimeter at a time. But the reason why I'm doing it so thin is just because if you go with if you put the blade a bit thicker to chop more, it's just gonna keep getting caught all the time. See again. Whoa! Wow, that worked really well. Maybe a little bit more, but not even, like that's really good. Okay, so the next task to tackle is the staircase. Frame all down the staircase. We should have framed the stairs after we framed the basement. But circumstances made us have to frame the stairs before we frame the basement. So now I have to build around the stairs. So I have to go plate, all the way down, bottom plates. There it's only maybe an inch out, maybe even less, like 1/2 inch. Here, it's more than 1.5 inches. It's like 2 inches out. So, I have to use 2x4s. But, I don't know. I'm gonna figure it out, and then I'll just show you guys what I come up with, but I gotta think right now. Okay, so today's done. What I got done was this morning I put in this rigid foam here. And I framed this wall here. That was giving me trouble. I managed to fix it. But now all the framing's done. Then I moved on to working on the stairs. So I got that done. I was about to put this down and continue, but I left my hammer drill at home. So I'll work on that next time. But the stairs are done, and I'm really happy with what I got done today. I wish I could have gotten that last bit done, but yeah, it is what it is. But thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe. I don't need to say. You already know what to do. And I'll see you on the next episode. Ciao.